Poc Network here with another Q&A session here, and we have a question, a really simple question too, and it's not coming from any specific person this time around. This is just something we've seen pop up a number of times recently, so we figured we'd address it in its own video. And again, simple question, and that's with Windows computers, how do you unplug a thumb drive, a USB external hard drive, and do it safely without hurting any of the information on the hard drive? And it is a simple question, and you might be, if you're watching this, you might be thinking, well, that the answer is really simple. But try to keep in mind that not everybody is, intermediate or advanced when it comes to computers. Most novice users, it doesn't take long for them to pick up information like this, as well, but there are still those that are getting their feet wet and they're just getting into computers. So questions like these make sense, and we have the answer for you. And the answer is simple, actually. If you're running a modern PC, and that's important, modern means Windows 10 and it's up to date, unplug the drive. Simple as that. The catch is you can't be writing to it. That's it. As long as you're not copying files and you're not saving a file or anything like that to the drive, it's just sitting there. You're not doing anything. You're not actively doing anything on the computer with it, then you can unplug it and it's safe to remove. And this goes back to about 2018, a couple years ago, when Microsoft updated a few policies within the system policies within Windows that changes the way it interacts with drives that are plugged into it. So this, in the past, you might have heard that you have to eject your drive, which is true in some of the older operating systems. Even with Windows 7 on up, we found that we never really experienced any issues unplugging it as long as we weren't writing to it. But with the updated system policies, this kind of helps guarantee that safety, or that making sure that you're secure with being able to unplug it like that without causing any damage to the written material that's on the drive. Now, if you are actively writing to that drive, if you're copying files, moving files, saving a file on something you're working with, and you unplug it while it's doing that, then that can cause some various issues with the drive. It could really just corrupt that file so you can't use it anymore and you have to start over and with a new file or whatever it is. It could corrupt a section of the hard drive that affects multiple files. It could cause the whole drive to go wonky. Thumb drives are known for that. Sometimes if you pull it out while it's being written to, the next time you plug in that drive, it might show up that it's not formatted, or the drive might be perfectly formatted but empty. And the files are still there. You can recover them. That's an advanced process. We won't go into that, but that's what you're trying to avoid. So as long as you're not writing to the drive, go ahead and unplug it. Now, if you're using an older operating system, or you just want to be kosher, in terms of following the rules, you just don't want to take the chance. We totally understand, and in that case, the option is to eject the hard drive, and that process is really simple as well. And this works for any version of Windows, even the older version of Windows where you do want to eject it, and including the most modern version of Windows 10, the process is the same. And what you're going to do is you're going to go down to the system tray. It's for what you see is the bottom right-hand corner of your desktop, and that's going to be where the clock and everything is. There's going to be some icons in there, and if to see all the icons, just in case this doesn't appear right there, there's a little arrow that points up. You click on that and that pops up a little square that has all the little icons in there that are running in system tray, and these are all programs that are running in the background and or system properties that you can adjust, like volume and whatnot. Now, what you're going to look for in there is a little icon of a thumb drive. It's a little outline of a thumb drive in Windows 10, but it's a little thumb drive standing up, so the USB is pointing up with a little check mark at the bottom corner of it. And what you're going to do is you're going to right-click on that, and that represents all the connected drives in your computer. It takes about 2 to 5 seconds for it to populate a list. It looks like a little right-click menu pops up, and it shows you all the connected drives. If you have one, it's just going to show one. If you have multiple, it's going to show multiple. What you're going to do is you're going to find the drive that you're trying to eject in that list and left-click on it. It takes about a second or two, and Windows is going to tell you it's safe to remove the hard drive. If it's an external hard drive that's spinning, especially the larger ones that you can actually hear it spin, you'll hear it power down during that process. It's going to stop spinning, because Windows just says, you're disconnected, you're done. So it thinks you unplugged it for the most part from the USB port. So as long as you see that little message that says it is safe to remove your hard drive, you can do it. The whole process, like I said, is really simple, especially since it's really not that bad to just unplug it. Now, if you're running a Mac or a Linux system, then definitely eject it. That's kind of common practice no matter what you're doing. Mac users are extra I don't want to say superstitious, but they definitely are a little bit more hardcore when it comes to the rules, so definitely eject your hard drive from a Macintosh, because Macs use hard drives, or they interact with drives a little bit differently than Windows. But there you have it. There's the answer. A simple question and a simple answer. We love simple answers. It makes our job easier. But if you have any questions or any kind of comments, feel free to share below in that comment section. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any new questions or anything like that, you never know when it's going to pop up into a new video like this. But feel free to share your opinion below. And there's a subscription button down there as well. Definitely feel free to subscribe to us and follow us. We have all sorts of interesting news and tips and all sorts of stuff that rolls out throughout the year. So definitely subscribe. We'd love for you to follow us. And as always, we thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. If you want to stay on top of all the latest and greatest, and or at least the gadgets we cover, remember to subscribe right here. Subscription button. Click it. You're going to want to. There's lots of videos, interviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Button. Click it.